Well, how is everybody doing on this spooky Halloween week? Welcome to another Level Up Your Legion. I am Eliot, and today I will be your host on uncovering some strategies on how we are going to be focusing on getting your cost per a lead down. Now, most of you are already Zoodealio members that are on this and taking in this information. So I do want to take a moment today and kind of walk through the back end and show you all of the new features that are right there at your fingertips. As you're logging into your account, you're going to see, the entire new back end where that has a lot of really cool features, from allowing multiple properties per a homeowner to creating mailing lists with the QR code and just a lot of really cool features that you're going to now have access to, being able to upload a list in a much easier capacity. But then also today, like I was just mentioning, I'm going to be focusing on the cost per a lead, right? So in our ultra lean times right now, when I'm talking about when I say lean times is there's less transactions, right? There's less homes on the market. Buyers are more skittish because of the cost of loans, right? I.e. higher interest rates. Rates, I think, are now basically tipping back over 7. There's certain parts of the country definitely dealing with weather, such as hurricanes and those types of things. And the ripple effects just, from that hit much more than just the areas, of course, the people that are receiving major devastation. But I'm just saying that the ripple effect of that in general is big. And so now is a time that we as agents have to be able to find a way to be effective. One of the best ways to be effective is to still bring in high quality leads while not having to break your bank to do it. So I want to introduce you to some strategies today on how you can, really look at the incubation cycle of your leads by maximizing the data that you already have, and also being able to attract new data and lowering that cost per lead. So I was actually reading an analysis that was done, and it was talking basically high producing teams, mid teams, all the way down to a single agent, and what's the really who's spending the most. And not shockingly, the ones that were actually spending the most, not just from a spend point, but an actual cost per lead, were teams. And, it didn't really dive into this, but this was definitely something that I want to share with all of you guys on this to be thinking about, is that actual incubation cycle. And a lot of times what happens with some of these teams, I think that the team, and maybe I'm going to, talk to a sore subject here for some of us that are on here. I haven't pulled our audience exactly, whether you're a broker, you are a big team owner, you're going to be able to relate exactly what I'm saying, is where we'll spend, there's a lot of money that's being spent to generate these leads, whether it be a cost per click from Zillow, Redfin, likely seller places, whatever you're doing to actually pull in that not met lead at that particular point. And then it gets delegated to a team member. Well, a lot of times those team members will make 0 to 5 attempts to contact that lead. And if they're not, unfortunately, the study also showed that a lot of people that are not having that 10th, 11th, and onward touch, right, almost kind of like an infinite nurture process, those leads are being lost. Well, and the reality of it is a lot of times the agents working those leads, they're not going through the channels, but we also have to find a way to bring value. That's ultimately what I want to get to, right? So many times I think, let's just take a little walk through a lead generation cycle so you can kind of see what I'm referring to. So let's say that you have, we'll go with PPC. Pay-per-click marketing, that you're running audience back to your lead site. Let's say you're in Chandler here and you're looking for homes that are underneath $750,000 with a pool, right? So that's you basically a target audience that you have. You're bidding on some of those words, right? Whether it be one keyword or a long tail type search, right? Whatever you're doing, let's say your ad budget is $2,000 a month or $1,000 a month, $500 a month, and you're drawing in, we'll say $500 a month, and you're drawing in, X number of leads that basically equate to that actual lead cost, the cost per lead, CPL, is $50, $75, or even $100 in some cases, right? Buyer leads in general, a lot of times are cheaper. So let's just say it's, $25 in this particular scenario. Well, a lot of times, when it's not King Kong at leavemealone.com, right, that they're registering to get the additional information on the property, well, then we as agents sometimes will only be working these office leads, these team leads, in a certain amount of touches, right? And a lot of times those follow-up campaigns are going to be something as, pester, right? Like is one that I know that people will use. Or, hey, I saw that you were looking at 1234 Main Street. I'm going to be in the area this weekend. Could I open it up and show it to you? Right. So I'm not saying that in certain scenarios that's not an item of value. But what I want us to be thinking about is beginning with the end in mind. And how do we give these people information so that we can take them from a not met to a met lead, right? When I say a met lead is somebody that we've had a conversation with, something that inspires the conversation. We've done the steps that we need to do to be able to source the data, whether it be the email. Are we reaching out to them on Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger? Are we, trying to find their telephone number and giving them a call? Right? These are all things that we need to do as professionals today to source out that information and bring the conversation to them. There's a lot of people right now that, they're kicking the tires and they're waiting till the election, concludes or to know what direction the country is going to head in before they're going to pull the trigger. Well, what I want to do, again, is give you guys some value propositions that are going to work no matter what is going on. So, for example, one of the things that you're going to be able to do is invite them to get additional data on their existing residents. Virtually everybody that's going to buy a house that has an existing house, let me restate that. Everybody that has an existing house is going to start their home selling process with the what's next. Right now, maybe that's not in your area. Maybe, there are situations where they're not necessarily going to buy, right? That's why the data says that only about 60% of the people are going to buy a house the same time that they're selling a house, right? Maybe they're 6 months out, a year out, they've had some credit, they went through a divorce, whatever, right? They're going to buy in X number of time. Well, these are still things that we can do to reach out to them and create, bring products that solve a problem. Right. That's I'll kind of quote Seth Godin here, where when we want to, or great marketing is presenting a solution to a problem to the marketplace, right? So when we can give them a solution to what they have going on, it is a tremendous opportunity for us to draw in a whole brand new audience. Okay. So, let me turn on the chat here. I know that I kind of hammered you guys with a lot of info there. Where are we at? Whoops. Okay. Okay, so chat is on. As always, I like for these to be extremely interactive. If there's something that you want me to expand on as we dive and go through some of the stuff that we're going to dive into and go through some of the stuff that we are going to go through today, please throw it in the chat. I will circle back. If you have a question or anything that I can be of resource for you, please don't hesitate to throw it in that chat. Not only that, if you have a marketing strategy or a prospecting strategy, advertising strategy that you're currently doing that is not on topic today, I'm pretty fluid with most of the things that are going on. So if you're looking for something like, for example, hey, you're running this particular keyword and it's on this, these platforms and you're not getting the return that you want, what could you do? And are you running it to this landing page? You're getting great traffic to landing page, but the landing page isn't converting, or you're running this email campaign, or you're running this prospecting campaign, you're making this many dials, you're doing a marketing campaign to this particular neighborhood, you're getting, scans on your QR code, but they're not converting, right? Don't be afraid to bubble those types of things up. I want to be of service to you guys any way that I can, because, again, in these lean times, we have to remember that one deal a lot of times can make all the difference for that month, for that quarter, and depending on where you're at, even for that particular year. The only good news, right, or well, not only, but some of the good news that we have today is price points. The average sales price is, a little bit higher. And, there's always people, guys, that transactions are happening. Let me tell you a little quick tidbit about some of my past and sharing in relation here. When I was in heavy production, it was like 08, 09, and even 2010 when it started to break loose, which is now a hot minute ago. But I do remember, right, in my local MLS here in the Phoenix metro, we were having at times basically 5,000 home sales a month, but there was 65,000 homes or 60,000 plus homes on the market. So people were looking at a tremendous amount of things. Houses were very cheap, so you had to do a whole bunch of work to not make that much money, right? I remember, we sold a lot of houses in that particular time, but I think the average sales price was under 120,000. Right. And that was, having buyer's agents run, listing agents run, doing a whole bunch of things that were going on. But the reality of it is it was a ton of work for the compensation that went on. Where now I want to encourage you, it's the opposite into that particular spectrum, where it is going to be a ton of work per the compensation, but the paychecks are paid days. That's the good thing right now. So we just want to, remind everybody of that as we go through this particular process, and really looking at your contact list, your lead list, your database, however you want to put it or you refer to it, that really it's about reaching out to them and helping them achieve the goals that they want and the time that they want, so that you are the solution for them, right? Again, another favorite quote of mine from an old school real estate coach, David Knox: you don't have to be great, you have to be there. And that's what he was talking about or focusing on, and his message was being consistent in your ability to assist them and ability to solve a problem that your prospects and clients are currently having. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in here. What I want to do today is we are going to take a quick tour through the new agent dashboard to kick us off. We have a lot of new members inside of Zoodealio. So if you are not familiar with this, you're going to be able to, when you log into your dashboard, you are now going to see the different view, the new nav panel, submitting a buyer if it's applicable in your particular state, the cash offer. Now, as we all know and as we've been sharing, we are going under a massive reconstruction of the agent back end, and it will continue to update on the months on end. This is basically phase one of several steps that are being redone inside of the agent dashboard that are all around the AI home report, because that gives you guys the marketing engine to scale out your message. And one of the things that we're definitely going to be talking about today and getting that CPL lower. And again, as a reminder, CPL to me is cost per a lead. Okay. So first thing I want to dive into here is our new client list, okay? So these metrics, right, this is, for those of us that are not aware, the AI home report is an add-on feature. It's one of the first add-on features that we have brought out inside of inside of Zoodealio. So as we cruise through here, right, just as an FYI, this is the ability for you to market to your clients. And what this does is it measures the deliverability. It measures how much they're opening the message, then how much they're clicking and interacting. Now, the beauty of all of that, right, is intel is power, right? It's almost kind of like a cheat code for what's going on inside of your business, and basically tells us who we should be focusing on and gives us back some of that time so that we are, again, focusing on the people that are ready to do something. So let me use this as an example here is David. I'm going to pull this guy up here. So when we come in here, this new client tab, you guys are going to see that, the different cash offers and solutions that are available for this home. Of course, the home details are all right there. The range that's available for you. You'll have the new feature of being able to click here and uploading pictures, the recent activity, the offers that are were instantly made on this one, right? And then, those of us that don't know, if you have a private investor or, something that you want to do, you can actually add an offer into the dashboard yourself. So let's say that I'm an investor, okay? I have generated a cash offer for my client. Then from there, I want to make an offer on a property. I can come in here and create myself as a buyer inside the platform. Of course, I'm going to want to make the disclosure that I'm a licensed real estate agent, and all of the necessary state disclosures that are required of me. But let's say I wanted to make this, as a cash offer, as an example. I could come in here, enter in my closing costs, my actual offer amount. Am I going to charge them a service fee? What are the costs that are associated with this offer? And this is, again, where I would be able to make that disclosure. Now, the cool thing on this, for those of you guys, is you're going to be able to come over here and click on this offer dashboard. So if I clicked on this, right, that would populate the offers, exactly what the homeowner sees, okay? So the next feature that I want to kind of dive into is this right here, is this add a property. This is all new. So let's say that David Adams right here had another property. I talked to him, right? Let's say that this was a canceled or an expired or whatever, FSBO. I call him and maybe he didn't want to, I generated this offer. He wanted to see the offer and he says, hey, I think we're going to end up keeping this particular property at the moment. But, I do have another property that'd be interested in getting another offer on. You could come in right here and click on add a property. And it was 1234 Main Street. I'd be able to add that in, be able to instantly get the offers and then share the dashboard with him again, right? So it's really about creating a digital home selling experience. Now, guys, what I want you to know that the home report solves, if you have any number of clients in here, it is an absolute no-brainer to add that on. Here's why. The system will start keeping the offers in front of them month after month, 2 times a month. It updates, refreshes with data on their house, the live offers, all of that refreshes. And then, of course, every time that they come into it, you're notified. When they click on view offer details, you're notified, right? When they're looking at things that are lengthy in view, right? Those are all the cool features that you guys are going to have access to so that you can really start marketing to your clients. And this is the beauty of this, right? So let's say that, again, we talked to David Adams here. And again, we'll use this scenario of an expired listing. It was on the market for 120 days and he was decided not to move because they couldn't find what they wanted and they weren't getting the price that they wanted. So they're going to just wait till the spring as an example of when they're going to put their house back on the market. You're able to say, okay, totally understand where you're coming from. Hey, here's the instant cash offers. Just so you know, this is an option for you to take this cash and pick your close date. Let me explain to you how the offers work. You go through that particular piece. And oh, by the way, we have one where, that we can see that the house needs to be repainted and maybe do a little bit of updating in your backyard. This would help you solve selling your house for a higher price and even in a better time frame, because we're going to create more demand by solving some of the issues that are existing within the property, right? So these are the kind of plant the seeds type situations. He says, that sounds appealing. We're still going to hold off. The holidays are upon us, and my parents, whatever their excuses are. Well, this is the beauty of it. We then start to follow up in the infinite nurture sequence. Well, what you start to notice is that he opens the report, maybe 1 out of the 2 times between now and the end of the year. Well, in January, you start noticing that he's going into the report almost daily, right? He has access to it, so the system will automatically send it to him, but he has a live link, right? And then from there, you see that he's viewing all of the different offer types, and he's checking out the fix it and list it that you had talked to him about and improving the property. Well, these indicators, and then now you're also seeing that he's having conversations with the AI, and he's asking the AI, when is the best time to sell? How much more could I get for my house? What is this service fee? Could you explain it to me? Who's a good local real estate agent? These are all things, right, that people are asking the AI, and the AI is like your private sales assistant. The beauty of what we did with this is it's going to promote you as the agent, right? So it'll say, for example, consult with, in this example here, Aaron. He is the agent that you should consult with, and he can verify any of this information. So it's going to take, the data, selling seasons, trends, and give that to the homeowner. But the beauty of it is it's always going to circle back to you as the professional. So again, guys, this is where, when I was talking about when we look at the actual cost per lead, well, those leads that we're spending money on and getting, or our past clients, our friends that we, kind of consider collecting dust, I want to urge you to come back to these people, because people that are owning a house are always going to end up being a prospect. Right? The data is right now that about, and I know it's compressed right now, and we'll see how it flushes out this year, but the actual people that are selling, usually every 100 people, you're going to have on any given year anywhere from 4 to 6 people of the 100 that are going to sell their house. Well, what I want you to think about on that too is, of those 4 to 6 people, half of those people are also going to buy a house. So let's say that we'll go with 4 on the low end one, and then you also have 2 people that are going to buy a house. So that's 6 transactions that are right there at your fingertips per every 100 people. Well, now if we can grow that list to 500 or 1,000, we're able to do the math on that. And that's exactly where I want us to be thinking about, hey, what is my actual cost per lead? Well, that's the beauty of when I have where data and access to data comes into play and is just so absolutely strong. We have to keep a value proposition in front of them, right? And so let me actually dive into a home report now. Actually, I think I went a little too fast. Let me take a step back. We're going to go to a home report in just a minute. I just want to give us a good brief overview on this piece of where sharing to let you guys know what's all been updated and adjusted. So this link right here, right? So all of you guys that are marketers, you can you have this QR code that you can download that will then go to a farm. You can put this on a mailer. Let's say that you don't have that person's contact information. You can see that it's, Mr. David Adams, he lives at this particular address, but then you can only mail to him. Well, here's the good news. Once he scans that, you're going to be instantly notified that he went into that offer dashboard, right? So now you know that they're interested. They actually saw the offers. So if you need to do a pop buy, right, if that's more of your strategy, you're going to be alerted to the fact that they went into the offer dashboard. They talked about your offers. Okay. So that's where you can do, a door hanger or mail them something and say, hey, give me a call. I want to discuss these live offers with you. Right. So then now you're urging them to give you a particular call back. Or you can pop by and knock on the door and have that home selling conversation with them. Right. This is where I want to, again, for clarity, I want to urge everybody to take action on your business, right? When there's less leads to go around, when there's less transactions to go around, it's the person who's most certain that's going to go out there and get those deals that's going to make it happen, right? And that's where we have to be, we have to take action. And that's where if we just sit around and always wait for people to come to us, you are the people that get absorbed by the shift in the market. So don't let that happen to you. Take action, right? Use these tools so that you can almost kind of be more intelligent in what's going on with your database, right? You're going to be more of that sniper approach. But then when these people are interacting with these things, bring the conversation to them. Hey, Mr. Seller, I thought I would pop by because I see that you were checking out the different cash offers and your house was on the market back in December of last year. I know now a lot of times people are waiting to see what's going on, but I wanted to invite you to really right now is one of the best times to sell your house. And, I want to take just a quick 30 seconds and explain to you why right now is such a good time. So much so that I have 4 different cash offers on your house right now that I would like to discuss with you, what they are, how they work, and they even allow you to pick a close date that works best for you and your family, right? These are compelling conversations that you guys get to have with your prospects. So again, do yourself a favor and take action in today's times, because these are the building blocks of things that you can go through, or building blocks of how you can build a bigger business, right? Again, last little tip here before I move on. I will tell you that, sometimes the dog days, if you will, that are upon us now, is really when great agents are identified. So be that great agent, step up, solve the problem for your clients, bring these solutions to them, and start home selling conversations now, so that you are constantly doing deals and won't miss out on the opportunity. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so I got a couple people that said that. Jonathan says he's brand new to the platform. Okay, Jonathan. So yeah, cool. Everything that you're seeing here, Jonathan, is been reworked, but good for you, because this will be all that you ever know. So, all right, what I want to do real quick now is kind of shift back and go into an actual home report for us. Clients. Okay, so let me show one now that is a little bit more live and what you guys can kind of see. Again, this is just a bit of a test account here that, let's see. Yeah, let's go into this one. More of a test account that you guys can actually see what's going on. What are the actual performance of everything that's transpiring, right? So for example, once you come in here, this is where we're running marketing, right? So this is a good contact list that's right here, where you can come into the home report and you can kind of see all of the different metrics that are going on. You can see the different people that have clicked, what's sent inside this time frame, right? All of these different emails that are right here where people are clicking and going on and going into the actual home report. So if I, as an example, I can come in here, I can see the different emails that are being sent to them and what they are connecting to, right? And I can come in right here and view their actual home report. So this is the marketing piece, the AI home report that goes right to that homeowner, right? Where this is going to be your headshot. This is going to be your name, your logo, and your contact information, right? So the whole goal of this is to keep that, you are your brand, if you will, and brand awareness just in front of them. But again, by giving them valuable information on their home, where they can adjust, values. As an example, let's just say that homeowner came in here and they have remodeled their house. They want to be able to adjust this. These are triggers that when this happens, you're going to be notified, right? And we wanted to that gives them an experience to where they can come in and, adjust their value and really be prompted to have conversations with the AI, okay, which we'll take a quick tour on in just a second. Okay, the next thing I want to do, since we've got a newer audience on here, is explore the home equity. This is a great tool, because what this does is it will show them what is their current equity position in their property. So they can come in and adjust this, right? And so this is all data populated where, hey, this is the original loan balance on this property was 720 and their current balance was this. Here was the date that the loan was actually initiated. So then from there, it's showing, hey, here's your current equity position. And based on all of this, here is how much your equity has gone up, to be able to see that. So Kim, I'll show you in just a second here on how we get there on that. Okay, so back to this historical value, right? So what this does is it's going to allow them to monitor their existing offers and value, but it's also going to show them, hey, how are the cash offers tracking that are on my home. Now, guys, part of one of the reasons why we really wanted to, create this is it's the monitoring of their live cash offers on their house that people start to do something, right? So we've been providing cash offers with you guys as agents for, what's it been, since 2020, all of 21. So almost 4 full years at this particular point. And what our data has, and analytics have shown us, is it's not cash offer 1 that they do something. It's 5 and beyond. And a lot of times that can be a month later or 2 months later. Well, this is going to be that typical, 6 months to 18 months that they're going to start that home selling process, right? The psychological process of, hey, let me monitor my home facts. What's my home worth? What are options that are available for my house? If I don't have to list my house on the market and have massive disruption, that would be great, right? This is that itch that almost every homeowner has to scratch. Maybe it's not an option that's going to work out for them in their scenario, but it's absolutely something that they want to explore. And they want to do it with you so that you could advise them on the different offers and options and how they work for them. And it's all about capturing that in their interest, then being able to have a home selling conversation with them, right? This goes back to that CPL, cost per lead. When I already have some of this data and I can go in and I can capture these deals, right? Think about it. If you have a list of 1,000 people and you do one extra transaction this year and your average sales price is $400,000, even at a 2.5% commission, right? That's what is that? 12. Well, let's say 3%. So roughly 12 grand, right? An extra $12,000 that you're going to be able to tap into because you took action and brought them something of value. So again, that's just where I want us to be thinking about the begin with the ending in mind. Okay. Now, this, of course, is the most clicked and interacted with container. What this is the different cash offer options that qualify for their particular property. Okay. Now, what I want us to see in here is when they come in, they click the view cash offer details. They can, of course, watch a video on how this works, right? These are all things that you're going to be alerted and actions that are happening to where that discovery process, the more they click, the higher the quality of the lead, right? The longer they look at things, the higher quality of the lead. And this is where we want to be able to bring that conversation to them. So when they're interacting with this, right, you have a set of leads rather than just, looking at like engagement versus action and behavior type stuff. That's where I think that, these strong cheat codes, if you will, are going to come into play to where you guys will be able to have like a sniper approach in who you should focus on. Okay. The other thing I want to just touch on real quick here is how engaging this is for homeowners to where they can come in and look at actual deals that have been done and completed, where they can see before and after with the different buyers that are inside the platform. Now on this, again, they can have additional conversations with, the AI and say, hey, I want to do this and this to my house. Is this something that would be applicable? Again, what's the best time of year to get the best return? How long would a remodel take? Do I get to live in the house? Do I have to move out? Right? These are all questions that are being asked by homeowners that are then going to be answered by the AI, captured and brought back to you. So that's the beauty of it. Okay. Again, I'll run through a couple of these things, like some of the market overview, and then I'll show us how we can get here. Because again, remember, this is all dynamic to everybody's property individually. That's one of the most amazing things that we did here is we took the data on their actual property, fed it to the AI so the AI can give them, trends of what's going on inside their area, talk to them about the rents that are going on in their area versus if they're thinking about renting or selling. If they're trying to look at, hey, what have the trends been in my neighborhood over the last 5 years? What have the trends been in my neighborhood over the last 1 year, right? Hey, I'm thinking about moving to, 902, let's see, 90210. I'm thinking about moving to Beverly Hills, California, right? You can really kind of look and see what the different trends are and what's been going on in that neighborhood and compare it from where you're at to where you want to go, right? Again, these are all behaviors of what we want to be able to capture and things that are going to be triggers of people that are more likely to move and do something than not do something, okay? So again, want to make sure that we get our people plugged into this, because it's them looking at the cash offer backed up with these other behaviors, which is all intel of what homeowners are looking to solve and figure out before they take action. Okay, now one of the other things I want to give a plug on this real quick. If you are anything like about 95% of the real estate agents, you have a contact list of anywhere from 750 to 2,000. Okay. And of that, you are going to have about 70 to 80% of them that do not have an address. Well, that is one of the most amazing things that we solved for in this. You can actually take the homeowner, their name, their email address, and now we're going to be focusing on data integrity, because what this does, going back to the email. So in this email, as an example, right? This is the email that gets sent to them. This isn't the exact one in the scenario that I'm sharing with you guys. But what the system will do is it does invite them to their home report. It says, hey, get updated trends and facts on your home. Click here, right? So then now it just prompts them, and then it will say, great, let's start off with your address. So the beauty of it is it already has, Sam Smith at samsmith@gmail.com, right? All of that data is already in there for them. So it's just a nice frictionless process to where it says, great, let's start off with your address. It then, they put in 1234 Main Street, the Google drop down clicks, they click their address, and boom, it pulls that in right now. And now all of a sudden you have created more data integrity on your lead, right? Let's be honest. How valuable is it to take all of our contacts and be able to get their address, right? So now we are going to be able to invite them to that exact same experience. And so this is where, again, contacts that you have that were, in your IDX site or from a Zillow, from a Realtor.com leads, you're now getting their address. So you met them as buyers, but they didn't convert. Now you're getting their address, and you're getting a second crack at that scenario. And the beauty of it is, guys, is this infinite nurture process, right? So even the people that are 36 months out or 48 months out, you're going to be able to constantly follow up with them, and you'll be able to see the trends of them looking or not looking that much to all of a sudden, the demand spikes in their interaction. Well, that's exactly, again, you're catching your consumer's behavior, then converting them. And of course, every converted lead drives down our cost per lead, right? And so that's where I want us to just be really thinking about, hey, let's focus on a lot of the data that we have. Most of us have more transactions around us than we can even imagine. It's just all about taking advantage of that. Okay, so I see I had a lot of questions come in here real quick. I am going to start off with the first one real quick here, and it was Kim. So the best way to get in here, so anybody that you have on the home report, let's take Tom here. So after you add on the home report to this, okay, so there's two things on this. If you have a single agent account, you're going to have 500 of these with you, right? That comes with that level of subscription. If you are part of an enterprise account, right? One of the larger ones, this is a feature that you will add on, and you'll be able to add on the 500, right? Or 1,000. And I'll explain that more here in just a second. But Kim, once you pull up your contact list, you'll navigate over here to where this says home report, right? You have the offer dashboard, which will take you to the, just the actionable offers. They're both actionable. But what this does is going to pull you right into their home report. Okay, so in this is where you now would be in there. So again, clients tab, click on that homeowner, on the home report tab there, and it'll pull you right in here, and you can kind of see everything that you need to see right there. Okay, So Kim, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up on that if that was clear for you. And then also, curious question based on the audience that we have here today. How many of you have the home report on that? So I know to talk a little bit about how you can add this on, what are the costs that are involved, things of that nature. The other thing I want you guys to think about on this too is the option of where they get to pick that close date. They potentially get to increase their equity, right? There's so many people that want to sell their house, but they also don't want to list their house, right? There's, again, when we built a lot of this stuff, in our proof of concept is through Zoodealio, there was a lot of studies that showed that a lot of people would, and it was something like 85% of people would rather spend one night in jail than list their house on the market. And it was like kind of one of those funny things, but we found this from a company, 1000 Watt, that did a lot of surveying, and it's because people don't want the life disruption, right? They have to deep clean everything. They have to board pets. They have to declutter, right? And most people right now are living in their house. The average stay time has actually increased over the last couple of years, right? It's gone from like 7 to 10. Well, when you live in your house for 10 years and you now are going to sell it, it's your greatest asset, right? So now it's emotional. It's all of these things. And, at the end of the day, it's something that they don't want to do, is have a bunch of strangers disrupting their life day in and day out. So we know that as professionals, and this is an option where you can certainly start the conversation by saying, hey, we can skip the hassle of list and go straight to sold, right? That's one of the beauties of what these different cash offer options do. And oh, by the way, we're able to structure it so that we're going to ensure that you're going to sell your house for what the market deems is full market value. Jonathan, that's the situation with me right now. I have a family that wants to sell their family members' home because they are clearing up the probate proceeds and they don't want it on the market. Again, so this is, Jonathan, this is a situation where, especially if the house can use some TLC, the one thing I want everybody to be thinking about on this is, imagine that you can literally essentially give the people money to repaint their house, to change the flooring, to update the kitchen, to remodel the backyard, to remodel the whatever needs to be done. The reality of it is yes, it has to be done through a structured process, right? And technically a lot of that rehab comes from their equity, but they're not taking any money out of their pocket. So if we can structure, and part of one of the things I want everybody to think about that makes this so beneficial, if the house has an as-is value of $500,000, but after the remodel, it's going to be worth $600,000, we can actually structure the transaction based on the $600,000 so they get more cash upfront now, and there's also the equity or the cash that's available to cover the rehab costs, so they're not pulling any money out of their pocket. That's one of the beautiful things that we've created in the structure of all of this. So again, begin with the end in mind, and reach out to the property analyst because they will go over the specifics of your scenario. Right? As I come up here and I talk to a lot of you at once, I can't give you specifics on your scenario. I have to speak about things in generality because the audience is so big. But this is where you guys have an option. Here, let me actually show everybody this because I know we have a lot of new people on here. Okay, this chat right here. This is an option to where you guys, when you're back in here and you're inside your back end, you can come in, click on chat, choose the department. You're going to want to click offers department. Okay, so that's where the property analysts are. So if let's say that I wanted to talk about, again, Mr. David Adams here on this Carrera property, I can come in and set up an appointment with them, or I can chat live with the property analyst to be able to talk specifically about that particular property. So again, take advantage of that. Be a deal maker, right? That's where, again, we want to come in and work with you to be that deal maker, not a deal breaker, and help you put together the scenario that makes sense for your client. Okay, I don't want to go off too much on deals and those types of things. I want to point you guys out to some resources that are available. My goal is to help you make it rain when it comes to making lead or working leads, right? So one of the things I want you guys to know is through the testing process and when we're talking about engagement leads and hot leads, okay, those are two separate things to me. So what I want you to know what the metrics are on this is per every 1,000 people that you have inside of here, you're looking at creating, depending on database, a couple of data integrity things per the testing, it was anywhere from 60 to 70 leads that are created every single year, right? And of course, divide that by 12, you're looking, and they're not all going to hit at the same time, but that's what you're looking at that you should be able to create per every 1,000 people, right? And that's based on the opens, and that's also based on just the math of the people that are looking to sell, and then capturing those behaviors, those behavior indicators being triggered, then you bringing the conversation to them. The success on that, of course, is going to depend on how effective are you in having those conversations with them. We're going to be able to capture those behaviors, capture that interest, report it back to you so that you know who you should be focusing on. We'll do our part, but you do have to do yours on the actual conversion cycle of it. So let's say that you do not have the home report, okay? And you want to add on the home report, okay? So what you can do is you can come in here, click on AI home report, right? And this is, again, the example of what you're going to be able to see. You can discover a little bit more about it right here. You can talk with the AI. If you want to go in and test this out as a homeowner, you can go to demo.zoodealio.com and we can enter in your address, get the experience as the homeowner, right? Take a full test drive to see what's going on, what it is, how it works, and make sure that it lines up for you and your business. If you want to do a live demo, we can do that for you. One of the best ways to do that, again, would just be to click on this chat button down here, click on this guy right here, click on sales, and then just in this message, put that you want to learn more about the AI home report. Okay. So again, I want you guys to be thinking about this simple math equation, right? Let's say again that you have 1,000 people. So by the way, if you have 1,000 people, after we add on the first initial 500, it's only $50 per the next 500. So let's do some simple math here. Let's say that you have 1,000 people that you're going to be monitoring and presenting. Well, if that creates, again, in theory, should be able to create an extra 2 to 3 deals for you on a very conservative side over the course of the next year. Well, of course, this is an investment. This is an investment in your business, and you're looking at about an $1,800 investment. Well, when we're talking about 3 transactions, right? And again, let's just say it's based on the average sales price in America right now, which is a little north of 400,000, but we'll call it 400,000. So again, when you're talking about, $12,000 per a pop, so times 3 transactions ends up being $36,000 in gross commission income that this is adding on. So again, a simple math shows $1,800 invested for a $30,000 plus return on the investment. It's kind of a bit of a no-brainer. I want everybody to remember that what you're going to get here is also an additional landing page, right? Let me get that for us real quick so we can see that. So we know what we're getting when we get the actual lead capture. So this landing page is another landing page that actually comes with this as well. So this is another lead capture. And what this is designed to do is to drive traffic to people that are looking for intel on their property. And then of course, the beauty of it is when you're saying, hey, rent versus sell calculator, right? All of these different things that you're going to have access to be able to market to right here. Calculate your home's equity, not only for one, but all of your properties. Calculate your home's historical value, see how your house has gone up in equity through the years. Check out the live cash offer options. What are market overview? Hey, have you ever thought about Airbnb or short-term rentaling your house? Well, guess what? We've given you access to real-time data of what you could potentially short-term, long-term rental, cash offer options, all of the different things that homeowners are exploring right now, all right here to help you create new leads very, very simply and at scale, right? So this is where, again, this can work with your marketing campaigns. If you're driving, again, if you're running AdWords, One of the best ways that we've seen this just absolutely smash it is with marketing campaigns, right? So you're running this as an example. Postcards would be one strategy to where they can scan this, enter in their property, or you have an existing contact list that you're not as familiar with. Of course, I would just add them directly into the home report, right? Then they're not having to opt in. But again, this is a lead capture page additionally that you get. You'll also get all of these metrics and everything right here of what is the delivery rate, what is the open rate, what is the click rate, right? So for example, let's say that you have a list of 20,000 and you want to put all of them in there. Well, after 6 months, you see that only 20% of them are clicking. Well, that other 80%, you maybe want to then turn that over and add more people in there, right? So it gives you intel on your business to know who's resonating with your message, who's connecting with. Again, so you're getting the cheat code of people. You want people to interact with your message. You want people to see your UVP, your unique value proposition. And what this does is it gives you the intel of how you can do this for your business and your direct contact list. Again, I know I've said it several times, but that's 100% how I see what we have done here is created a cheat code for your business. So make sure you take advantage of this opportunity. Okay, I see I had a couple more questions coming in here before I jump. That's only if they go with the Cash Plus. That's the full price, right? No. So Kim, the full price offer, right? So the cash offers right now in general inside the platform, those are from hedge funds and REITs, and their offers are a little bit more conservative. But all three other options are designed to be at full market value. Now they are with the structured sale, right? So the offer is going to be at genuine what the house should sell for, but then a portion of their equity is going to be held back. And they will get that returned once you list and successfully sell that property, right? So that amount of that reserve that's returned to them is based on the final sales price, right? So it's if for example, if the cash offer is $500,000, the reserve is 20%, which would be $100,000. The house ends up selling for $495,000. They would get $95,000 back. But let's say that the house ended up selling for $515,000. They would get the $100,000 back plus the additional $15,000. Okay. Now, what I want you to know on the fix it, list it, that's where that other factor is going to come into play. That hey, if we rehab this house that's $500,000. If we put $25,000 of cleanup and rehab into it, is it going to sell for $625,000? And that's where the property analysts come in. And there does, of course, have to be, it's got to make sense, right? Sometimes you can put $50,000 into a house and it's only going to lift the value $10,000, right? Because you're solving such crazy problems within the property, right? So that's where the analysis kind of comes into play. And it's a risk reward type situation. And again, that's where I said that there's one-off scenarios that you're going to want to explore with the property analyst specifically. Kim also said, where can you see the open rates and what they are doing on the site? So Kim, on the top of the client list, all of this is, these are the open rates right here that are at a glance, right? But you can additionally see them if you click on the open rates. You can actually come in here and run filters. Now, again, all of this particular page as an FYI is under construction. This is some of the old stuff, right? Where you can come in and set some date parameters. You can really kind of drill down on this open rate, for example, and see, all right, based on the people that open it, these are the people that this is the action that they took, right? And it really kind of give you the metric on that whole thing. So then I can also pull my list of people that actually clicked, right? So if I wanted to come in and make my prospecting calls over the next 2 days, I want to say, all right, these are the people that have clicked and engaged with my actual home report. I want to call them and talk to them about the different cash offer options and be able to see what's going on there. I have been running ads using your landing page for $10 per day and not got one lead. So Rosemary, my question for you on that is going to be there's lots that we have to think about when we're running leads, okay? Number one is going to be, who is my target audience, right? That's the biggest thing that it comes down to. The next thing that you're going to have to think about is the dollars per day. How many impressions are you actually getting, right? Because then we have to think about Are you running enough traffic, right? Because a lot of times in traffic, we have to run, a lot of times it can be depending on your audience, right? Like on what keywords you're bidding on. There's a lot of different things there that you're going to want to pay attention to. So, I can tell you right now, one of the big indicators, just being completely upfront with you, is $10 a day. A lot of times you're going to want to, what I would do is maybe even go $20 per day and then just don't do it as many days in a row, right? You're going to want to hit it harder on the days that you're marketing. That way your ad circulates more and you're getting more traffic, right? Then from there, you need to look at and I'm curious, just so I'm clear, are you running social media? I would, based on what you're saying, $10 per day, I would think that that's probably some type of social media traffic. Additionally, what I would do on that is Rosemary, this is where that home report page, right? A cash offer is a very high quality lead. You're not going to get as many leads in that scenario, right? Where you're going to have to be really looking at a higher ad spend. And that's where you're going to be competing with some of like your people that are putting up billboards, running radio ads, news ads, those types of things. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, but what I would do if I were you is this is where the home report page, you're going to get a better bang for buck in that scenario, is run the traffic to that page, because that's more of an infinite nurture process. That is, hey, get home facts on your particular property and see all the trends and insights that's going on in your particular area, right? A lower barrier of entry to where if you're running for a cash offer in that scenario, and with that kind of a budget, you're looking for people that are looking to do something right now. Again, you're going to find them, but it's where your ad is probably not circulating enough is what I'm going to challenge there on that with the limited information that you shared with me. Okay, Kim, can I send reports to myself for my own clients? So what you can do, Kim, is it will circulate the report for your client. If you want to send them to yourself, you absolutely can do that and then forward them. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you could do that. Again, let's see. Is there a fee for an investor to join? I'm sure my brokerage paid something for my light membership. Okay, so no, there is not a fee for an investor to join right now, and that's kind of like, the investors are very vetted that come into the platform. So if you have somebody on that. When Sheila, again, I apologize if I'm butchering your name there. Do me a favor and just shoot me a Facebook message directly on that, and I can explore and talk with you more about that directly. Rosemary, okay, I'll try that. Hey, Rosemary, and would you shoot me a Facebook message as well? I'd love to help you out specifically. I just want to drill down on understanding your target audience, what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to do more of a brand? Are you dropping a pin? Are you doing, how wide scale is your audience, right? Because I'm worried that what you're doing is diluted. And if you're spending, let's say $300 a month, I obviously want you to get a return on that. And so I can give you some strategies on how we can make that a little bit more effective. If I have a listing or speaking with a potential client and want to see what the cash offers would be for their home, how do I run it so it comes to me? Okay, I'm very glad that you bring that up. So very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to come in here to where it says client. You're going to come in here and click on submit a property. And what you'll do right here, Kim, is let's just say that for all of you guys that are prospectors, this is personally one of the coolest features that we created that's been around for quite a minute, but it's the instant value prop, right? So here inside of the system, right, that quick, you saw how fast that the system is going to be able to run a value. Well, let me give you guys a awesome framework on how easy this is. Let's say that I am working with Land Voice, and I have one of their zip codes that I bought from 2023 and of houses that didn't sell, canceled. They were on the market for at least 90 days, and they currently still own the property. Okay. So, and they haven't relisted, right? Those are you can aggregate lists like that with companies like, Land Voice would be one of them. You can do it again, whether it be Remine. I think PropStream has some of that kind of stuff. My Plus Leads will let you filter down some strategies like that too. I'm not getting too much into that, but I'm just letting you know there's lots of resources. So once you get that list leveled down at that level, you can make those particular phone calls, and you're going to have a very, very simple script like this, Kim. So whether this is a past client, your client, even an agent that the house is on the market, you could even do this for. Hey, Kim, it's Eliot over at ABC Realty. Hey, we haven't had a chance to meet yet, but I actually wanted to give you a quick call because I was looking at some of our MLS data, and I see that your house on 1234 Main Street left the market unsold all the way back in November of 2023. And I was curious, if you could sell that house to a cash buyer that allowed you to pick your close date and it's, an offer that made sense for you, would you consider selling your house if you got to pick the close date, right? Yes, no, maybe so, right? Then from there, right, then that's where I'm going to say, even if it's a no, we decided not to sell, and we're waiting to see what happens with the market, and we're waiting to see what happens with the election, right? Go through this, get your 10 objections that they'll probably, or 5 objections, right? Almost always boils back down to that. Maybe there's a couple of derivatives of each one, but think about your objections. So you have your objection handlers. But then from there, you're simply planting a seed at this point with these people. You're going to have some people that would say absolutely yes, right? This is where the volume of calls come into play. But then really what you're doing is you're doing list building in this. Hey, there's 2 options here that I'm going to give you. Hey, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to actually, I would go into, hey, just want to let you know about a new cash offer that we have just rolled out that's new here in your city. What it is that this buyer does that's so unique is they'll actually buy your house in cash, come in, rehab it. But here's what I want you to know. When they rehab it and it sells for more, all of those extra proceeds that were created above the rehab actually go back to you. So it's a really compelling option, and so many homeowners right now are absolutely loving it, right? They say, wow, I've never even heard of that. How does that work, right? So that's where, again, we go from, we're bringing value, right? You're bringing a product that potentially can change their life, right? Like there's no question, guys, that we've done so many transactions with people when we're creating an extra $50,000, $100,000 for these homeowners with our partners, the partner buyers that run these particular programs, that you're changing people's lives, right? That's to me how we create, or one of the ways that we're going to create raving fans, right? That's where one transaction turns into 50 and an entire ecosystem for your business. So that's where, again, I want to urge you to make these types of calls, because again, when you get your list, do the work, solve a problem, your business will constantly grow and evolve. Now, the last thing I want to share with you guys on how and why that home report is so darn important. Imagine going through the scenario that I just had. Wow, that sounds good. I'd like to talk to, we'd be interested, but not probably until March or May, somewhere in that area of next year. You then get to say, hey, I totally get it. Why don't I do this? I'm going to shoot you over an email that's going to invite you to a home a monitoring system that's actually an AI home report that'll help you calculate your equity, a whole bunch of different selling options. But what's at the center of it, so that when you talk to your wife about it, is these different cash offer options. And these are based on market data. So it's going to be sent to you 2 times a month, and it will always be monitoring the different ebbs and flows of what's going on in the market. And when you're ready to get a little bit more serious, all you got to do on that is, click finalize my offer, and then we'll be able to give you an actual action or an actionable offer so that you can find out what your net is going to be and really start calculating and making sure that the maths for you correctly. Sound fair enough? Right? So that's where I want us to think about, right? You called this person out of the blue. You created a UVP. You brought the UVP, and now we are getting that long-term nurture sequence. So even if their friend, their mother, their whomever is a realtor, you're sneaking in and being able to potentially capture some of that business, right? And that's what, again, where we all know so many agents are getting out of the business right now because of the shift. The numbers are shrinking all of the time. And so there's clients out there like crazy that are up for grabs, guys. So be aggressive, put yourself in the mix, and take advantage. All right. Well, with that said, I know I gave you guys hopefully a ton of stuff today, a couple of action items for you. Make sure you explore the agent dashboard, take advantage of those easy QR code links, and of course, take advantage of the home report. It is one of the most cost-effective ways to start generating new business. With that said, as always, thank you so much for your time, and we will see you on the next one.